Alrighty, so here's kind of a walk around and an update on this car. Been doing a lot of rust repair on it. Just all the common areas that rust out on these cars. Put a new torque box in on this side. They never came, well, this particular one didn't come with a torque box when it was built in '67. It came with one on the driver's side, which this front piece is original, but I had to replace most of the bottom of the torque box. And we rebuilt the frame rails here. I rebuilt the top of the torque box. Let's see, we rebuilt the inner rail as well. We beefed that all up. On this side, beefed up the bottom of the rail. That's the new torque box. I had to bought some partial floor panel patches, but ended up having to use some scrap metal here to fill in a couple slivers behind them. Up top we got the top of the torque box that I rebuilt, manufactured from scrap material. Pieced together a couple little patches here and there to fill in the gaps. That's a aftermarket pan patch. Had to stitch together the front of this seat frame. It was rotted out along the bottom here, so I just laid in a piece and rosetted it. I think it was rusted out that far up in there. That's why the welds don't go right through. In the back we got, this back floor is decent. Did a little, hard to see it there, but there's a little patch I put in there where there was some overlap and some rusting in here. Patched that in. I got the back of this rocker panel cut out. I'm gonna clean the dirt out of there and spray some fluid film in there to seal her up. These rear quarters are shot. The wheel arches are all cooked. I'm just preserving it. I put these little straps here that wrap, tie down, cut them down into the Bondo with a die grinder, and I wrapped them around the wheel lip and welded them in so that wheel arch lip isn't flopping around. I didn't want it to break off and get worse. So that's just but yeah, these quarter panels need to be redone someday. But this, for now, I'm gonna do the shady thing, and I'm gonna fill in this hole. I'm gonna go around the whole wheel arch with spray foam on the inside and trim it. And we're just gonna seal it up because I just want to drive this car and I want it to stay relatively clean. I want to be able to go down a gravel road and not worry about a bunch of dust coming in, all this rust holes here. So there's, yeah, the trunk drop-offs are pretty shot. Quarters are shot, and the inner wheel houses are shot. Or the outer wheel houses rather. The inner ones are pretty good. I put another little patch right here, and then I gotta clean out this rocker and cover that back up. But yeah, these inner wheel houses or outer wheel houses are shot, quarters are shot. So I'm just gonna spray foam it. Put a couple more racing straps on this side because this lip was just flapping in the breeze. It's gonna eventually separate back here, but I'm not too worried about it. There's that little patch. There's some rust right here where the floor panel lays over the rear torque box, but it's not through. Here's this side. Got her all nice and welded into the frame rails. Really stiff, a lot of good weld, kind of boogery, you know. I didn't really grind any of it down. I'm just gonna kind of leave it. Shoot some paint. I'm gonna get some seam sealer, shoot some paint on it, and just kind of quick and dirty. I just want to drive this car. I'm not too worried about it breaking in half anymore. Before the thing was gonna break in half, it was really, these rails were really rotten behind those torque boxes. So I rebuilt a lot of that with just material overlaid and rosetted. I guess you'd call those rosette welds. That's what I've been calling them. But I think it'll be good enough for this old bomb, at least. She's just gonna Just something a guy can drive around and enjoy, you know? And I love the old ratty weathered look of the paint. I can't bring myself to do any more than is necessary. This is not a restoration. This is mainly just repairing a car so that it can be driven again safely. But the next step here is to get that seam sealer on inside and underneath, and I got some black trim clad rattle can paint. I'm just gonna cover up any bare metal and she'll be good to go, I think. Here's a look at the crustiness of this old heater. The foam is all shot too, of course, but that that door is rusted right through. This door is seized, it's not moving. Same with this door, it's a little less rotten. I need a little bit of cleaning up here. This bracket is paper thin. Should be all right to use. Clean it up, slap some paint on it, I guess. Oh, geez. Yeah, just a little update on the heater. The core looks in pretty good shape. Everything else is pretty rotten. But I just treated it with a rust converter and gonna send it. The blower motor seems pretty good. It runs nice and quiet. I drilled a little hole in the back of the motor to get some oil on the rear bushing. And then I just dribbled some oil down on the front bushing, and the motor runs nice and quiet and smooth, so that'll be good. This half of the box I did some reinforcement on because it was a little broken. The whole thing kind of hangs off this little bracket in the car, so I did there's a big crack in there, and it was cracked all the way up there. Just some redneck stuff with some pop rivets and plumber's tape. A little silicone to seal her up, you know. We wouldn't want any air leaks in our heater box, you know. Yeah, that would be too bad. But in reality, I'm not gonna drive this car in the winter, so I don't need a good heater. It'll blow heat for, you know, spring, fall, summer. If I need heat, Alrighty, so when I got this car, I drained about 1.5 liters of water out of this transmission, and I was just thinking that maybe it came in from the top through that little vent hole there. But I'm kind of seeing here there's this scum line. It's like rust line on this whole housing. I'm like, it looks a lot like a water line. And then I'm seeing, focus, snail shell. Why the heck is there snail shells on this thing? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe this car was like slightly underwater at one point for a while. I don't know. It's interesting. We're gonna pull this whole shifter assembly off and this tail shaft. We gotta change the rear bushing on this tail shaft. It's worn out. I got a new yoke, so I gotta put that bushing in. And I think we'll probably pop this top cover off and have a look in there too, just cause this is a fancy, expensive transmission. So if it's gonna blow up, I wanna know before I blow it up. Yeah. So this is why we're changing this bushing. Way too much slop in that. That's the way to do that. All right, I got that bushing installed. Took it out of the freezer. Used, I think it was this socket. I don't know, yeah. Just gently tapped her in there. Went nice. I put those oil grooves down here and then up the side because this drive shaft spins counterclockwise most times. So I wanted to spin the oil up into that groove. You know, hopefully it works good. Just putting the seal in here. I'm gonna put a nice coat of silicone on it. So, here's a bit of a look inside this bad boy. Of course, now it doesn't work. Of course, now it doesn't work. All right, so I've discovered my mistake. And I think basically what happened is I got this, when I tightened it together, I sandwiched this blocker ring onto this gear. There it is. There it is. Sweet, sweet neutral. Well, that was a silly mistake. Now I can put this thing back together. Well, I'll clean up this input shaft so that seal will work nice. I guess that was a good mistake, because if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have found that the seal had rust on the shaft. And then my clutch would have got oil soaked and it would have been a bad day. So we all learned something. We didn't break anything. Let's put this together. All right, after a little bit of back and forth and wiggling around, we got the engine sitting in on its mounts. It was a lot easier to do without the transmission hanging on the back of it, so we've got the transmission pretty much ready to go in the car. I got the input shaft greased up and the coil greased up, so everything will slide together nice. I'm gonna put the shifter on after the fact, and yeah, I guess we'll just stick her in there. We can stop and fall over. Oh yeah. Awesome. Of course, I don't have enough jack. Ow! That's one flattened radiator. Let's fix it. Oh, that was fun. I counted the fins. I think there's 34 rows, and it's about 190 each way. So that's about 6,400 roughly that I went through, but I think it was worth it. Looks like should have pretty good airflow compared to how it was. It's not perfect, but I'll take what I can get, you know? Well, I definitely have a new respect for radiators after dealing with this one. So I'll be more cautious in the future when working around these. Not that I already wasn't, but just knowing how delicate they are makes a guy think twice about maybe throwing a wrench at them or, you know, doing something to damage them. So we'll give her a rinse, we'll clean her out, and stick her back in the car. All right, I got the cooling system all back together, minus the heater core. I have it just in a loop right now, but I'm just filling the system up with water here, and we'll run it like that for a while. We'll probably have to fire it up and let that thermostat open up. I'm hoping that it does open up because the thing was it was running warm last time I started, or last time I had it running, but the radiator was also pretty piss poor in terms of performance. So maybe the thermostat's okay, but we'll watch it when we fire it up. We won't let it overheat. Alrighty, it's carburetor time. So this thing came with a 2-barrel Holley, not factory, but that's what I bought it with. It had a 500 CFM 2-barrel Holley that was like I don't forget the model number, but it's like popular with circle track racing and stuff. It's kind of a performance 2-barrel, which is pretty sweet, but it needs a rebuild kit, and it's kind of a specialty kit, and I don't really have time to order it at the moment. But what I have is this bad boy, which is an Autolite 2-barrel from my 74 F350 with a 360 FE big block. Anyway, we're gonna throw this on there and see how she runs. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. There it is. Okay, so that's cool. Got throttle linkage. Does it fit nice in the car? Goes from 0 to 100 pretty quick, I tell you that. Just hook 2 springs together and we'll just go to the valve cover. Oh, that looks really good. I'm not scared of that at all. It actually returns pretty good. It's crazy. I like it. It's really goofy. Got this old fuel line that's designed to go to feed the Holley. It's not gonna work for us. We're gonna have to do something custom here, I think. We got a few options. We got this little elbow macaroni looking dude with double flares. I don't know what the hell that's used for. Probably not the one. We got this big unit. Dun, 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 dun. We got 2 different ends to choose from. So we also got this one here. This guy, this noodle. This one's the loop around the distributor kind of thing set up here. Oh, we can go right over top of it. Oh, isn't that nice? I just kind of bent this a little bit and it curves around the distributor, and then I got some rubber line joining it to the bend that came with the car. Now we just got to hook up the fuel tank to the fuel pump from there to there. Boop. I'm gonna put a fuel filter there. This is an old fuel filter made in Toronto. It's the only one I got. Motomaster. Oh, it's an old Canadian Tire unit. That's cool. Do you think we need a clamp, or is she gonna hold? We should put it in there so that the writing faces up for vanity. You know, people like to see that kind of stuff. Now, we want just like a little short piece, a little flex in the line. All right. No turning back now. I mean, it is what it is, right? I'm not even gonna clamp it because I like to live dangerously. I think that's everything hooked up. Is there still oil in the engine? No. I drained the oil out of this thing? I guess I gotta put oil in the engine. That's a good thing I checked that, because engines like oil. They run way better when they have oil. Maybe a little bit of juice come out of it. Ew. Old oil. Ooh, double drain plug gaskets. That's how you know you're living life large. When you just leave the old gasket and then just put another one right on top. That's, it wasn't leaking, whatever. Yeah, no. That's the sound a filter wrench makes when you slap it around. Wait a minute. There's no oil in this filter. That means it's brand new, and I just put it on there to cover the spot. Awesome. Put some fresh oil on the gasket. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4 turn, and a little extra just to piss the next guy off. We gotta put the plug wires on. Takes a minute, and then we're just gonna put a hot wire from the coil over to the battery. Gotta put a battery in it, and prime the carburetor with some fuel. And I think, well, maybe we'll just crank it and see if it'll pull out of the tank. Put some fresh fuel in the tank, crank it, build some oil pressure, and yeah, it'll run. Drain plug back in. We'll give her the sauce. 10W30 Shell Rotella. Designed for your diesel truck. Okay, that's just over 4 quarts. I guess I'll maybe check the level, but I think it's gonna take it no more like 5. All right, I got a battery in here, and I was hooking it up, checking for a draw. I noticed I got a little draw. I was like, oh, what's that? I don't have the key on or anything. But then I heard the clicking. And I was like, ooh. Somebody pulled the hazard switch, I guess. Look at them beauties. All right, I don't have the best battery, so I think I'm just gonna prime it with fuel, and we'll hook her up to the ignition, and I guess we'll just fire it up with open manifolds because everybody loves that, you know? Alrighty. I threw some fuel in the tank on top of what was already in there. Let's go ahead and power up our coil. Whoa, sparky. Gentle. All right, I'll prime her up. Got some accelerator pumpage. And here goes nothing. Oh my God, I can't believe I tried starting a car with no freaking spark plug wires on it. Okay, now it'll start. Hopefully. Oh, I just started pulling fuel. It's just open headers straight at the firewall, which is pretty badass, but only for a short period of time. All right, some time's passed and some work has been completed. We got the car running and driving. I took it into town once already, fueled it up and gave it a wash. It's definitely still got some issues to sort out. The water pump's bad. Show you here. She's been dripping. It pretty much drips constantly when the engine's running, and it doesn't leak when it's not running. So whatever. Another issue we have is a whine in the transmission in first, second, third gear. Doesn't whine in fourth gear because it's a direct drive, so that leads me to believe there's a countershaft bearing that's probably damaged by rust, because there was like 1.5 liters of water in the transmission when I bought it. So the needle bearings need doing. Hopefully the shafts are okay in the races. I got a car show to take it to tomorrow. I'm gonna limp it into town. I already did a hard pull with it and bang shifted through the gears. The thing runs strong, shifts nice. But with that whine, I don't want to drive it hard until I get a rebuild kit, because I don't want to wreck the transmission. So to get it ready for the car show tomorrow, we're going to be throwing in most of the rest of the interior. I don't think I'm going to put carpet in it. The carpet's pretty ratty. I've been mocking up the back seat. Got the driver's seat in it. I got to put the passenger seat in. I got to put the little plugs in the floor. Might hook up the radio yet here. That might be nice to have. I think I'm going to change the front shocks too, because the upper bushings are shot, and the thing sounds pretty gnarly going over bumps. And I want to change the shocks and hit bumps again and make sure the noise goes away, and figure out I got something else I got to change. I do have sway bar links as well. I might do them today. Yeah, that's about it for it right now. It's coming along nicely. Guys, look, I broke the sound barrier. The glue rotted out of her. But then I actually broke the sound barrier. This piece just, I don't, what? Disintegration. What is that? It's not good. I guess I need to, why do I keep breaking the sound barrier? Man, I'm just too fast. it's self-healed. It doesn't leak water anymore. It's crazy. It used to just be all wet and dripping constantly. You can see all the rusty water it's thrown out of the engine. I've been driving with the rad cap loose so I don't build pressure, and the thing's not leaking, so that's awesome.